This is the Kicking It podcast where we talk all things women's rugby league
and stories to inspire and entertain. Come kick it with us.
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It. My name is Kiana and I'm joined by my co-host, Corby Baxter. Corbs, how are you feeling? I know you're probably not that happy, especially after that first State of Origin game.
No, not happy. Very disappointed with the result, but nonetheless, really good game. Queensland just too good last night, but yeah, really close. As we always see, our Origin games are always super tight. So it was great to be out there. I got to go out and watch it at CommBank Stadium and see it live, but a bit sad today.
Let's go straight into it, hey. So we saw Queensland get the win, 18-10 over New South Wales. Yeah. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so 18-10 to Queensland. Lots of tries, so 2 for New South Wales. Just got over, and so did Jamie Chapman. And for Queensland, Robbo, really good game. She scored 2 tries, did a heap of work. Also, Emily Bass, awesome game as well. She's got over for 4 points, and so did Tasman Gray. So overall, really entertaining footy. I think there was lots of great attacking plays and, overall really entertaining.
So I think Queensland were outstanding, especially their backs in particular.
They were.
So I thought that Shanae Shizolka, Julia Robinson, as you all already mentioned, and then Emily Bass as well. I think all three of them ran over 100 metres pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
Julia Robbo, again, as you mentioned, she had 3 line breaks and 7 tackle breaks, which is excellent. Who do you think were your standouts for the Queensland team?
I think Keely Joseph, obviously she got Woman of the Match. So I think she did an awesome job on debut. Such a young girl coming out playing for Queensland for the first time. She just is a workhorse. She runs hard, tackles hard, just the simple things, and she does them really well. And she thoroughly deserved that. Queensland also, we spoke about the back line. I think they really sort of outplayed the New South Wales a little bit. They just had lots of opportunities and took them. But yeah, it was tough because, you know, the Blues sort of struggled to get in the game at the start. Queensland had a lot of the possession and it sort of evened out throughout the game, but it was a really tough start for New South Wales finding their groove and getting into the game, I think.
I agree. And I think another player who was also very good for Queensland was Tamika Upton. I think New South Wales did really good at trying to shut her down early. I know there were some really good defensive reads from New South Wales centres.
Yes.
Just shutting her down, not letting her get in the game, but then she still managed to have some really good touches and some important ones with a couple of their tries.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, New South Wales defence, I thought Talia Fumiano in that centre did a really good job at applying some pressure. She made some really good shut-down tackles as what you want to see in the centres. Sometimes Queensland sort of figured it out and were able to skip around and make the most of that. But I think, with Tamika, from experience, you've got to sort of call her out. Same with Taryn Aiken. You've got to call them out early and sort of talk them out of the game. But they did a good job. But Tamika still found her way to have some really nice touches on the ball and create, you know, she set up one of those the first try, was it, for Robbo in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good try there. Now, looking at New South Wales, now there were a few last-minute changes. So we had Tiana Penatani, who was ruled out right before the game. So it forced a few little changes there. So we saw Fui move into the centres and Jess to wing in defence. And then we believe they were swapping right in attack. Jess would then move into a centre and Fui in the wing. But that also brought Quincy Dodd onto the bench, which was really cool. She got to make her debut. Go Quincy girl. But unfortunately, she didn't really get to see many minutes, did she?
No, not many minutes. Was it her debut? I'm pretty sure Quincy's played once.
Oh.
She did play last year. But she hasn't seen many minutes. So
sorry, Quins.
That's okay. She it's tough because she could easily be out there for many more minutes of the game. It's just that she's behind, you know, Keely Davis. Even Kylie Hilder over the last few years has still been in there and around that hooker position. So I think she's so young. She's still got many more years where she can hopefully get some more game time in that Origin match. But yeah, it was really good to see her at least be able to, you know, go out and represent her state. I thought it was interesting seeing the dynamic between that right edge, with Fui in the centres and Jess and the switch from attack to defence. Fui is a really good defender, as we touched on. So I think that was really smart by Carly to do that. And Jess has that little bit of spark in attack, and we saw that with her try where they played that, drop under play back through the middle. And, she sort of created a little bit of nightmares for them early too. So it was interesting, really tough to see Tiana miss out.
Yeah.
I know that, that she would have been devastated. She loves, representing the Blues as well. So that was a tough one. I got to chat with her a little bit before the game. I was lucky to hop into the sheds and see them. And she was just saying that it wasn't anything serious and just a little bit of a twing in training, and she was playing it safe and really selfless, because she even mentioned, Dottie, that gave Dottie that opportunity. She would have felt really bad if she had done something really early in the game and then, denied Dottie
someone else
the
having the opportunity,
for
definitely.
sure. So,
and with a
very
hamstring
selfish
as
stuff.
well, like hammies, you cannot risk going out. If you're not 100% with a hammy and you try to run at 100% on the field, more than likely it's going to go.
And you can be gone for weeks.
Exactly.
And I think she obviously has ambitions to play in that second game. So I think that changes the dynamics too. If it's just one game, maybe should have been no, I want to be out there. But knowing there's that second game and she can get it hammy right, she'll be, pushing for that.
Yeah, that'll be good. We hope to see you there then, T, for sure.
Yes.
So then we actually saw New South Wales face a little bit more of adversity within that second half with Izzy Kelly going down.
Yes, poor Iz. We send her our love. We hope she's okay. It was really hard to watch, wasn't it? And I've had a few of my mates outside of footy message me asking how she's doing. I spoke with her hubby, Jake, last night, because obviously Izzy wasn't able to, she's probably getting a flood of messages, so I just sort of left her alone. But Jake said she was doing okay, had some scans and was just awaiting the results. So hopefully all good there, because, it looked brutal. She was struggling to get air in. Yeah,
it was really tough to watch, and I was actually really surprised that there wasn't a look back at it, because looking back, it was a definite forearm to the throat, and we all know that's actually legal. You can't do that.
You can't do that. And so I know there was lots of uproar about the game should have at least been stopped, whether it was a penalty or not. It's really hard because we sort of play and train to sort of run with your bumpers up. It's just finding that balance between bumpers up and running with your forearm out. I'm sure there was no intent by Robbo, but it's just one of those things, and it's a bit dangerous. So,
well, we hope you're all good, Izzy, and we hope to see you back in the next game.
Definitely. She's tough. She'll be back for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Now, looking at, with Izzy going down, actually, it saw another reshuffle in position. So we saw Yazzie then moved over to the centres, and then Kezi to second row. So it's not a bad move. I think Kezi was another player who had a great game for New South Wales. I feel like she just about broke through the line every carry.
100%. And I would have loved to see more off the back of that, because she did. She poked through every time. And testament to New South Wales, they had obviously some backup plans with injuries and players going down, and they were able to have, versatile players that could reshuffle and move into different positions. Yasmin Clydesdale's known for being able to play everywhere. She gets put in back row, but she never ends up playing there for a full game, especially in Origin. Sometimes she gets put in the centres, on the wing. She's very versatile. So I think despite, the circumstances, she held her own and did really good. And Kezi was great in the middle, but I think she's probably one of the best back rowers in the game. So I didn't mind seeing her a little bit wider and just getting back to what she does best and running really great lines.
That's it. And I think another thing to mention, there's actually a lot of big name players who are missing for New South Wales. So in the middle in particular, so we didn't see Mima out there. We didn't see Hannah Southwell, Holly Wheeler and Caitlin Johnson. They're all out with injuries at the moment. We know that Hannah unfortunately did her ACL in our NRLW season last year. Holly Wheeler's currently recovering from a knee injury as well. That was it happened in the final. I think it was the grand final of Harvey Norman, if not grand final, semi-final.
Yes, yeah.
And then Caitlin Johnson, I believe it was an MCL injury that she picked up in Harvey Norman as well. So there's a lot of big name players there who New South Wales were missing. What are your thoughts? Do you think that they could have possibly changed the game?
They're some quality players that you've usually got in your New South Wales squad. So I feel like we had some great players that were able to fill in, and the middles actually did a really good job. Millie Boyle, as we spoke about, she's a workhorse, and she ran for, I think, over 128 metres.
Yeah.
You just know what you're going to get from her, and that's just run hard. And Kennedy Cherrington brought a lot of energy.
She ran a lot of meters as
A
well.
lot of meters. I think she was around that 120 mark too. So they did a really great job. But when you're, talking about missing Mima and Caitlin and Holly, it's more that leadership as well from Holly and Mima. I think they're, very experienced players and they would have brought a lot of leadership as well. But yeah, it's tough. It's a great problem to have with so many great middles in that New South Wales side. But I think they were definitely missed.
I agree. Now, looking forward to the next game.
Yeah.
New South Wales only have to win by 9 points or more to take out the series.
Yes.
So the history of the game, there's never been a win by bigger than 10 points. So
it's going to be a tough task.
Yes, it's always been close.
Yeah. And it's also up in Townsville. So that just adds another element of pressure for New South Wales to be able to get the job done. It's tough. And it's such a weird thing that you always have to, in the women's game, with this series, that you have to think about the last game. With the boys, it's sort of like, unless the third game's the dead rubber, but you don't want to have to think about the last game. You sort of want to move on. So I guess that's something unique to the women's game. But I think the Blues can do it.
Yep. Money's on the Blues.
I hope they can. And I fully believe they can. It'll be tough, but I'm really excited for that one in a few weeks' time.
So as Corbs mentioned before, the next game is up in Townsville on June the 22nd.
Yes.
So it'll be one to watch. Make sure you guys are watching.
So we kicked off the NRLW preseason this week, Kiana. I heard it was a little bit of a tough one. You talked about starting off with the 1.2 on your first session, or maybe it was your second session, but you guys had, I saw on the socials, a bit of a introduction to the Sharks Club. I saw some images of Fitzy, the NRL coach, and some of the NRL boys down there to greet you and welcome you to the club. How did that go?
Yeah, so it was a really cool experience. We got to do a Welcome to Country smoke ceremony on the Monday, which was our first session. And as you mentioned, Fitzy was down there. He brought some of the NRL boys, and it was really cool because as we came out of the change rooms, walked through the tunnel, they're all there standing, clapping us and welcoming us, which was really nice. And it's cool to feel valued as a female athlete, because obviously
Absolutely.
the boys have come out of their, or given away their own time to come and support us, which was really nice. But the smoke ceremony was really cool. We walked out of the tunnel, and then we came and we did a big circled up, and we got to learn a little bit about, the country that we're playing on and training on. So we did a little bit of an acknowledgement to the Gweagal clan of the Darawal people, which is, the traditional owners of the land there in Cronulla. So that was really nice.
Love that.
And then we kind of got thrown in the deep end a little bit. So once they'd done the welcome, they kind of they invited us girls to come up one at a time to do our own cultural introduction. So they stitched us up by not telling us, so we weren't really prepared. So you can imagine all the girls looking around at each other going, shit, what am I going to say, sort of thing.
Pushing to the end of the line, I imagine.
100, exactly right. So they threw that upon us, and of course the first person at the start of the circle who comes out was none other than Haratha Butler.
Oh my gosh.
He's probably the most cultural person that we know of, right?
Yeah.
I know in Moldy's camp, she was the one who's leading the haka. She's teaching us the action song. She's saying all the prayer on karakia. So couldn't have been anyone better, really, to go first, really set the standards high. So it was a bit funny. She came out and she just rattles off her pepeha instantly.
Oh my gosh, that's the best.
And for anyone who doesn't know what a pepeha is, it's a Moldy introduction of who you are, where you're from. We speak about our mountain, our river, our lakes, that sort of thing, to kind of share our connections with other people. But she comes out and she just nails her pepeha, and I'm there in the back of my head going, oh my gosh. I don't remember mine. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then I've got Tegan Dimmick standing next to me, and she's freaking out going, can you please go before me? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, what am I meant to say? And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm meant to say. So
nerves would have been through the roof. A bit of notice would have been nice.
Literally, it would have been nice to have more than 1 minute notice. So anyway, it came to me. I was probably third or fourth in line, freaking out because Tegan's trying to say, what do I say? And I'm like, I don't know, you're Tongan. I don't know what you guys say. Say whatever you say.
Yep.
She just goes up and says, hello, I'm Tongan. I'm Tegan, I'm Tongan, whatever. And then comes to me, and I'm probably just as bad. I didn't remember my pepeha in time.
Yep.
So I just say a little, hello, I'm Kiana Takairangi, Cook Island Māori, born and bred in Cronulla. And I was really disappointed because I knew it was like a really good opportunity to have a go at my pepeha. I thought I'd have a go now.
Yes, make up for it now.
So here we go.
Yes.
Actually didn't even write it down, so I'm just going to try and wing it. But ko tararua te maunga, ko ruamahanga te awa, ko papawai te marae, ko Ngāti Kahungunu te iwi, ko Kiana takairangi toku ingoa.
That was amazing.
So I wish I'd done it the other day, but that's okay. I've done it now.
Well done. That deserves a clap.
Your turn. Let's go.
So it's been a while for me, so I'll have to go off my notes a little bit. So ko rangi uru toku maunga, ko kaituna toku awa, ko tawa kepeto toku whare tupuna, ko Ngāti ruanotu toku hapu, ko tapuke toku iwi. I'm going to put my mum and dad there because I love them.
Good job.
Ko Makaire McGregor toku papa, ko Georgina Paula toku mama.
Good girl.
That is me.
Proud of you.
Next time I won't have my notes.
There we go. I think I forgot one or two. I probably need to write it down, but that's all right.
That's fine. We did great.
So
But that is something that's really special to us, right? And I know that we've been into our Māori camps. We've touched on that before. And I remember the first one we went to, it was really nerve-wracking because it was over in New Zealand on the marae, and we were expected to... Oh, we weren't expected, but we had to have it at least written down so that we could do it in front of everyone. And there was Harata and like many other girls who were fluent Te Reo Māori, and we were the whitest Kiwis there. But always such a special time, that campaign.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's camps like that that really teach us a lot about our culture, which we didn't know before.
Yeah.
So although we're still not professionals at it now,
We're improving.
we're getting there. So yeah, that was really cool to be able to go through our team and just do a little bit of an introduction. And one thing that I did notice as well within that little intro was that we have a lot of Māori and Islander girls.
Yes.
So there's a lot of flavour in our team
Love
this year.
that.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And it was funny because some of our, like Maddie and Tay, some of our full Australian girls, they're kind of looking around going far out, like they're trying to count the numbers of like, there's not
The
many
white
of us
girls.
just straight Aussies. So that was really cool. So we got to do that, do our intros. It was pretty much just a chilled session. We just did a lot of like introduction stuff, just kind of all the boring stuff, uniforms.
Yeah. But that's cool, right? Like it's the inaugural Sharks women's team. I feel like you need something like that, and it sounds like the club's done a really good job at making it feel a bit special for you girls and doing it properly. Because I remember the first year at Roosters, we did a bit of a introduction as well with Robbo coming in and talking to us about the history of the club too. So I think, when it's your first year, it's really important to lay the foundation and start the journey off right. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really special. And then the next day, though, it wasn't so special. It wasn't that that great because that's when we did our 1.2.
Yes, the beloved 1.2. Let's talk about it.
Let's not.
I agree. Let's not move on. No, how'd you go? How do you feel?
I feel good now, but at the time I felt like death. It was tough.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't done one since pre-season, so last year.
Yep.
Been a minute.
Yes.
I wish I'd done it in a minute. It was quite slow. I won't say exactly how, but I have an excuse why, and I want you to tell me if you think this is justifiable.
Okay, talk to me.
Do you reckon a heavy track is a good enough reason to run a slower time than usual?
I think, like obviously nothing crazy, but like it definitely adds on time because we did one as well, and it was very the grass wasn't long, but like it was just a bit muddy and slippery, so the turns were definitely affected. But what was your terrain like?
So we were at Woolware High.
Yes.
And it's not the best field.
Yep.
I reckon if we were on, say, Leichhardt Oval, where you guys train, it might have been a lot quicker. So I just reckon it was quite a heavy pitch. You know, it's like thick grass. It's not nice and smooth.
Yep.
So that's one excuse.
Okay, fair.
But I have another excuse, and I want you to...
Excuses?
I want you to tell me your thoughts on this. But do you guys ever do the 1.2 having to get 2 feet behind the line?
No. 2 feet?
So we had to do that. So on each turn, you know how it's usually like you slow down, you plant, you accelerate to get out of the turn.
Yep.
We had to get both feet behind the line.
I definitely hear a whole foot because that was our ruling. I love when you go into this, not really love, but S&C's just come up with all these rules they want to throw in.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Well, I was speaking with my brother about it actually, and I was complaining to him saying like he made us do 2 feet behind the line. We never do that. You think you try to do it as efficiently as possible. Get your foot past the line,
Just like you would in a game, right?
Exactly. But then get out of there as quickly as you can. It rattled us because no one knew how to do a touch or change with 2 feet. So everyone was slow. Everyone looked stupid trying to change direction. So didn't help us at all.
Yeah.
But then Brad mentioned that that's actually the new ruling in the NRL is that you have to have 2 feet behind the ref. So
What?
Had you heard that before?
I've never heard that.
Me neither. I wonder if that's the same for NRLW.
I hope not, because if it is, then we're not training for it yet. We might have to look into that.
I know. So I did. I just had a little look this morning, and it was in one of the new rule changes before the NRL season started.
Right.
So
I wonder if that transfers over.
I know. And then it would actually make sense why we have to do it in our 1.2.
Right. I reckon you could easily take like 15 seconds off your time if that was just 1 foot over.
Yeah. I reckon 30.
Take 30.
That's my excuse
Because
anyway.
definitely like when you're on your goal line defense, then you like, it's not even a rule, but you get 2 feet over just to make sure, right?
Yeah, that's the exception, is when you're defending on your goal line, you can have 1 foot on the line, I'm pretty sure.
True.
But everywhere else within the field is 2
2
feet
feet.
behind.
I feel
the
like
ref
we
or
need to
in
watch
line.
an NRL game like to see if they do it.
I think the
How
same.
have we not known about this?
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway, something to look at when we watch the
Yeah.
footy this week.
Yep.
So yeah, the rest of the week, we just had another training session on Thursday, and that was a pretty chilled one, more attack focused, but nothing too crazy.
The
Bit of
fun
speed.
stuff?
Yeah.
Good.
So it was good. And then we all watched the game together as a team, which
Cool.
was nice.
And how's the body feeling after week 1?
I remember after that first session, the 1.2 session,
Yeah.
rattled. Like, I remember I woke up the next day. No, I messaged you that night and I was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to go to do
Yes.
recovery? Like, let's go do ice baths and sauna, because I was so sore.
Yeah, I feel ya. And I'm the same. Like, I feel like obviously coming back from having a season off, I like slept like a baby. I could not get out of bed the next morning. I think having to wake up for little birdies adds a little toughness to the mix, but it just makes me appreciate all the mums in the competition. I feel like there's a few that are coming back. Talisha Quinn, but now Talisha O'Neill. She's making a return back to the NRLW. So I'm sure unless she's just superwoman, she's probably, feeling a little bit this week as well. Nakia Davis-Welsh.
Yes.
And Shanice Parker, she's already made a return, but she's just a superhuman mum as well. But if you girls are feeling a little bit tired, I'm with you. But week 1's down. We've only got, 6 more to go? 5 more?
I think 6.
6 to go. Lord help us. We got this.
Might be a bit of a long shot. No, surely our bodies will adjust. I feel like surely we cannot feel as bad as we did this week.
No, we'll
the
get
rest.
used to it, right?
That's it. What has your week been like?
Good. Yeah, we've had our 2 sessions so far, and they've been all right. Just your standard skills, con blocks, a bit of speed here and there. So standard stuff. Obviously, the girls in Origin have been in camp, so it's been a smaller squad with a lot of them away. So it's just been nice to get to know a lot more of the new girls and welcome them into our environment. So it's been, a good start to the season, pre-season.
How many sessions are you guys doing a week?
3.
3.
Yes.
Nice.
And you guys are going all out with 4.
All out with 4. But I think a couple of the teams are 4 trainings a week. I think
Yeah.
Newey are definitely
They're
4.
4.
Dragons, I think, are 4 as well.
So you were 4 last year.
Yeah.
So you're used to the 4. I feel like if I had to add another field session, that would really tip me over the edge.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be tough, but I assume they'll split it up so it's not too full on.
I get it. They're shorter pre-seasons, right? So you almost need as much as you can that is safe for the body to be able to handle, right?
Exactly right.
Nice.
6 weeks to go. Well,
that brings us to the end of another podcast.
Yes.
Sorry, another podcast. How do I say that? Another episode is the word I'm looking for.
Another episode done and dusted. So that's 3 done.
Look at us go. And we've had some pretty good feedback.
Yes, there's been a bit of love coming back.
We love that, guys. We appreciate the love and the support.
One of the comments I keep getting actually from a lot of our friends is that they're saying, I actually really liked it. And I'm like,
That's
what do you mean
great.
actually?
Like,
Like,
get rid of the word actually.
it's like they didn't expect it to be any good.
What did they expect?
So it could have been like, oh, wow, I really liked it. They're like, I actually liked it. And I'm like, okay,
How rude.
we'll take it.
Backhanded
Compliment.
compliment.
That's it, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
Grateful.
We're surprising people with our
Rambling.
and our stories.
Really good ramblers. But yeah, we'll be back next week.
Can't wait.
Hopefully with a special guest.
Yes. And this one is a pretty good start to the special guest list. So
Be a very good start.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll see you then.
Bye.